Hello, my name is Svenja,
Hi, I'm Mehrnusch.
and together we work at the Institute for International Peace and Security Law at the University of Cologne, both as research fellows and doctoral candidates. And we are very grateful to have the possibility today to introduce our field of research for the euniwell, which is international law. Our short presentation aims to show how international law has an impact both on the well-being of the individual, but also on the well-being of the international society as a whole. The focus of the international legal order has shifted in recent years. Traditionally, international law regulates the international relations between states. However, international law develops more and more from merely protecting sovereign state interests to the protection of the individual and common goods of mankind. This particularly shows itself in the subcategories of international law, for example, in the law of armed conflict, international criminal law, but also, of course, human rights law and international environmental law. But let me first give an introductory example that demonstrates the relevance of international law, which is the extraordinary situation the world is undergoing at the moment. The current global pandemic shows that humanitarian response to COVID-19 cannot be given by single states alone, but only by the international community as a whole, which is urged to cooperate if it aims to stop the virus from spreading. One of the efforts to cooperate shows itself, for example, in the resolution of the UN Security Council, which you can see in the background, from the 1st of July, in which it called for a global ceasefire and a humanitarian pause of all hostilities on its agenda. And this perfectly leads over to the field of international peace and security law, on which we will focus our small presentation today, and which is an important area of research of our institute. And with this, I hand over to my colleague Mehrnusch to provide us with further insight.
Yes, thank you very much, Svenja. I will briefly touch upon the prohibition on the use of force and its exceptions with a view to elucidate how these very state-centered rules are connected to the issue of well-being. So in principle, states must refrain from the use of force in their international relations, meaning one state may not attack another. So clearly this prohibition on the use of force protects sovereign states. However, of course, there's a higher value at stake here, namely the well-being of the people, the society, and arguably even the environment of any potential victim state. What is also at stake here is, of course, international peace. So the well-being of the international community as a whole, so to speak. So accordingly, this prohibition is pivotal under international peace and security law. However, in very exceptional cases, the Charter of the United Nations allows for the use of force. In order to maintain international peace and security, for instance, the Security Council may authorize a state to use force. Another exception to the prohibition is the right of self-defense. So when attacked, a state has the right, some would say even the duty, to protect the well-being of their own people. Of course, strictly confined to its defensive objective. Now, what to do when it is not a state's own population that needs protection, but a population of another state that is being brutally attacked within its own country? Imagine the gravest atrocities, like genocide, for instance, or war crimes and crimes against humanity, as we unfortunately witness even today and throughout the Syrian conflict. Needless to say that, of course, here the well-being of the victims of these atrocities is at the heart of the issue. Under current international peace and security law, we have come to accept that the international community has a responsibility to protect. But what do we do if the UN Security Council is in a deadlock? Again, a scenario that, unfortunately, we know all too well from the Syrian conflict. Can then single states or maybe even group of states decide to intervene for humanitarian reasons? And that's exactly what the UK claimed when it intervened together with the US and France in 2018 in order to protect the Syrian population from the recurrent use of chemical weapons. And of course, unfortunately, we cannot discuss these questions into detail now, but we hope that we could give some food for thought and stimulate some discussions during the Q&A, which we are, of course, very much looking forward to. Thank you very much and see you soon.
Thank you.